That's so crazy. Absolute ridiculousness. Oh, it's the YMCA again. Oh, it's the YMCA again.
Yeah. Back. We are back. Bitches.
So what do we do
Welcome
now?
aboard to Cash and Capital, everybody. We are live. We are live. I believe we're live, right?
Oh,
We're
yeah, we
live?
are. Most definitely.
We are. We are actually live. Actually live. We did set an over under. We talked to the best handicappers in Vegas for the over under on us having the stream go smoothly, loaded up smoothly, everything streaming correctly on time. Episode 46. So if you want to go place a bet on over under on that by episode 46, we'll have it all. We'll be we'll be good to go. uh uh See, like Marcel's muted right now. Like I can't even. What's going on? What is
We're
going
good to
on?
go.
We were up late. We were up late, and we're very jacked, very excited. Kamala lost so bad. John Rich here. Kamala lost so bad. FEMA sent her a check for $750. And then the check bounced because they sent all the money to Ukraine. So,
Oh, shit.
big it's big stuff. This is big stuff, guys, and I, I'm just going to say now, it's an awesome feeling. It's a good feeling. Um, the fight is not over, and I do want everybody to understand that. It's good to feel good and feel excited, and hey, we won. But it's only a battle. It is not the war. And we all need to understand that. So, what are we going to talk about today? That's what this episode is all about. Now, what? He won the nomination. He won the election. He is now the president elect. Now what? What happens from here? Not just with him, but with us, because we're an important part of all of this too. We were an important part of making this happen. Now what? I think it's an important conversation. Um, and so we're going to talk about all kinds of different stuff. So, political to financial to government, everything. We're going to cover all these topics. So I think it's really super important.
Seems like a lot of people are really concerned as to what's going to happen next. Things are being blown out of proportion, as if the guy wasn't already president for 4 years and everything was pretty great overall, especially when you compare it to 2020 to 24.
Well, and honestly, the other part of it is when you get elected the first time, it was the first time. This time, like he already knows all the foreign leaders. He's already built rapport with them. Oh, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, hold on, let me see if I can find this here. Oh my god, I got so much stuff. Oh, here we go. Matter of fact, Putin confirms his readiness to begin negotiations with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. This is something that Trump talked about, in that as soon as he's elected, before he even gets sworn in, he's going to work it out with Putin, and the whole Ukraine situation is going to go away. Great. Beautiful. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. We don't need to be funding that whole Ukraine mess over there. I'm not even going to call it a war because it's just we're just laundering money over there. It's just we don't need to be involved in that. We need to be out of there. And him negotiating with Putin to hopefully end that whole fiasco over there is absolutely what we need to have happen. So I'm glad to see that.
It's really evident when Vladimir Putin of Russia immediately reaches out to Donald Trump without even having been inaugurated yet, or taking office. It shows you the level of respect that other world leaders have, where we can literally end the Ukraine versus Russia war before Donald Trump even takes office. That's wild.
It is. Well, and here's the thing though, is Trump is a peace through strength. And by strength I don't mean just military strength either. That's obviously one part of it. He redid the all the military in his first term. But it's also through economic strength. It's through negotiation strength. There's a lot of different types of strength, trade, all of those kind of things. So um, I think it's super important that we keep our eyes on this, and I think it's great that those olive leaves are already being sent out. Those peace type of talks are already starting to happen, and that's great. One of the things that did happen here, let me bring this up here. This is a post from NJ. Panic, according to New Jersey Mayor and advisor to RFK Jr. Jamal Hawley. 5 CEOs of pharmaceutical companies held an emergency teleconference at 1 p.m. A lawyer has confirmed that everyone is having a meltdown and is in a state of panic. They know RFK Jr. is coming for them. Now, this is just one facet of um, Trump's new administration. It's multifaceted, and I mean, when you think like the Kraken, all the arms on the Kraken, that's literally like what this presidency is going to be like. Like Trump is the body, and he's got all these arms that are just going to fuck everything up. Like it's just everything's going to get straightened out. Like RFK is going to go in there, and he's already talked about wiping out total sections of the FDA, like total departments gone. Elon's going to come in and remove a couple trillion out of the budget. Like he is going to like slim down this government, and Trump talking about um getting rid of the income tax, and that means no IRS. I don't know if you get that. Like when he talks about getting rid of
It's
income tax,
absolutely crazy,
that means
huge,
the
isn't it?
IRS is gone.
In a good way. Yeah, in a really good way. And they can easily
Yeah.
get rid of the 87,000 new IRS agents, which
Yep.
Kamala Harris was the tie breaking vote for implementing. So Donald Trump can hire them. You imagine getting rid of 87,000 agents that are getting paid six figures. That is an immediate several $billion savings right there, right off the bat. Let me talk a
That's huge.
little bit about what you mentioned, Aaron, in regards to eliminating a couple $1 trillion from our debt.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to touch on this because a lot of people fail to realize that this is a good thing. People are concerned that there's not going to be enough money for services and healthcare and other things of the like. Our government is so bloated that we could easily save billions of dollars by firing unnecessary IRS agents right off the bat that were just hired. The hiring of those agents was greatly inflationary and increased the amount of debt of this country astronomically. By getting rid of them, we are doing ourselves a massive favor. Hey, go with mama. Go ask mom. This is a big amount of money to get rid of trillions of dollars, but it's really not a big deal. It has to happen. The Department of Education, for example, if we abolished it and let the states do whatever they wanted with their own education, this country would be in a much better position. People in this country would be more well educated, and the funds would actually be more well allocated in general. Aaron, give me a moment, please.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to expand on what you just said in that People think getting rid of the Department of Education, it would be a travesty. It would just be such an awful thing. What you need to think about is money, the money aspect of it. And I'm going to explain how this works in that all the public schools get money from the government to operate. On top of your local taxes also fund the schools. So your local schools get money a couple different ways. Your local property tax, and then they also get federal funds from the Department of Education. And to accept those funds, what has to happen? They have to follow certain guidelines and rules and teach certain subjects and do certain things, whatever the Department of Education says that they have to do, or guess what? They lose their money. That's the first part. The second part is let's say the Department of Education gets a budget of I don't know. I don't know what it is actually. I mean, I could go look it up, but I'm just going to throw numbers out there just to give an example. Let's say the Department of Education, its yearly budget is 5 billion. Let's just say that's what it is. I don't know what it is. Now, the actual schools probably only get about 2 billion of that. The other 3 billion gets spent in bureaucracy to pay all the people who work at the Department of Education, basically, and all their supplies and all their buildings and all their, electric and heat and all this kind of everything that goes along with like a business, for example, all the expenses of running the Department of Education so that the Department of Education can run everything else below it. It's you lose billions in bureaucracy. If you get rid of the Department of Education and you fund schools directly and say, look, here, we'll give you the money, use it to enrich the students. And what will happen is you will have school choice. You will have in a town, let's say, you will have a choice of a couple of different schools in the area because there's going to be so much more money available. It's that wasn't lost in the bureaucracy that you'll have multiple options for your child. No, you can go here. They have good, maybe they're it's a very rigid type of schooling where they have the uniforms and that kind of stuff. Whatever, maybe that's what you want. Or over here, and maybe they're a little more. They cover more of the arts or whatever. You know what I mean? You're going to have different choices and different options. And
Aaron,
what will happen is bullshit woke ideologies and bullshit that happens at some of these public schools that you have no choice most of the time but to go to that school is when you have a choice and bullshit is happening at one but not the other, that one's going to wither away and die. And this other one will flourish. The one that's doing things the right way, teaching math and history and science and good, good subjects for children to actually learn.
the
It's a
Department of
great thing.
Education
Anytime.
budget,
Yep.
I just looked it up, $238
Yeah.
billion last year. $238 billion. And the majority of
238
that,
billion.
FYI, goes to administrative causes. That
Yep.
means paper pushers. It doesn't go to the
Yep.
schools, doesn't go to teachers.
Nope.
It doesn't go to even janitors or maintenance workers or the actual schools themselves for upkeep of the infrastructure. Of the $238 billion, over 65% of that money goes to paper pushing administrators in the Department of Education, not to your children. So they could easily do away with 65% of that $238 billion like that and just give the rest to the schools, directly to the state, I should say, to each state. And the state could then allocate it to each city or to each school district. And it would be as if nothing had changed. And that would be an immediate savings of what, over 150, 160 billion dollars at the drop of a hat by laying off a bunch of useless paper pushers at the Department of Education. So already we are more than 10% of the way there, about 15% of the way to saving $1 trillion by abolishing the Department of Education, no longer spending 65% of that $238 billion on paper pushers and giving the rest directly to the states to hand out to the school districts. How's that sound, Aaron?
Or, or I love that. Or keep the budget there and give more money to the schools. Create new schools, create specialized schools, create schools that focus on different talents and abilities or trades and those kind of have more
Mm-hmm.
opportunities for kids to go actually learn. That's what gets lost in the bureaucracy of the Department of Education. And the Department of Education, by the way, was the big pusher of kids in school need to have their vaccines and their masks and all that kind of stuff. Um, they were a big part of that whole horseshit too. So um, no, I'm all for cutting the Department of Education completely out of the mix, but I would almost say keep the budget at that level, or at least increase the amount that schools get or is available to schools, and have it have it be used to create better schools. To because I mean, let's be honest, our schools suck. They're bad. They're really really bad. There's very few good schools.
No, I'm with you, Aaron. I'm with you totally. It's just an example of one way that we could easily
Mm.
save $150 billion could be saved by getting rid of the department,
Oh
getting
yeah.
rid of the Department of Education and giving that percentage of money that's already going to the schools, giving it directly to the state for them to give to each household or to allocate to each specific state. For example, here in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott is going to be pushing for school choice now so that parents can actually choose. If they want to homeschool their children, they'll get tax breaks and money back. If they want to send them to a Catholic school or a private school or a public school or whatever, they will have, up to whatever, $10,000 per year in order to be able to do that. And that's a big way in which we can empower people and make young America smarter and make America great again, period. At the same time, by saving hundreds of billions of dollars. So I think that would be a
I love it.
fantastic thing. And yeah, I'd love it if they would just keep that money allocated towards them. Get rid of the Department of Education, give it over to the states with
Yeah.
the mandate that they give it to each parent or each student, in one way or another.
Oh my God. Can you imagine how good that would be for the kids? I mean, it would just be awesome. It would just be absolutely awesome, and especially them being able to have that funding without the caveats, without the oh you have to push DEI or you have to do this or you have to do that. That's just awesome. So that's just one way those kind of funds can be cut. Here's a post about Kevin O'Leary's been really outspoken about a lot of this, and I really like a lot of the stuff he's saying. Here is Kevin O'Leary torches Democrats for mocking Elon Musk's efforts to cut 2 trillion in government spending. If he says he can save 2 trillion in spending, I think he can do it. O'Leary added that both parties should be in favor of Elon's services because I'll tell you, I know we waste money. Well, no shit. Obviously, we do. There are very few entrepreneurs in history who have achieved as much as he has. He has executional excellence in a way that very few have ever had. This guy's 100% signal. So if he has an idea about government, I'd listen to it. I don't know why we wouldn't. It's free for all of us. So yeah, let's check this out here. This is O'Leary.
Here's the bottom line. There's very few entrepreneurs in history that have achieved as much as he has. You can't deny him that, whether you like him, you don't like him, whether you're Dem or you're Republican, doesn't matter. He has executional excellence in a way that very few have ever had. Steve Jobs had that kind. This guy's 100% signal. So he has an idea about government. I'd listen to it. I don't know why we wouldn't. It's free for all of us. This is a bipartisan mandate. If he says he can save $2 trillion in spending, I think he can do it, because I'll tell you, I know we waste money. I mean, it's bipartisan. We piss away a lot of money in federal government. I watch it happen. You watch it happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we just release the hounds, give him a mandate, because every mandate he's ever been given, he's executed on.
Right.
You name it. He's done extraordinary things. Why don't we use this? Here's the bottom line. There's very few.
He's not wrong. Kevin O'Leary is absolutely right. Elon has really done some amazing things with. I mean, look at Twitter. He come into Twitter and he cut what was it, 80 something percent of the staff, and Twitter is better than it ever was, really. Uh, so I mean, it's I, I I firmly believe Elon could come in there and could slash the budget in ways that would absolutely um, make a huge difference.
Honestly, any business owner, even a half-baked business owner that has a fraction of the experience of Elon could do a better job than the federal government could at actually spending our money properly. Give me 100 business owners and 95% of them, 95 out of 100 could do a better job than the federal government is currently doing at allocating our funds. So I am absolutely sure that Elon's going to do a great job of trimming the fat, cutting out the nonsense we don't need. And at the same time, it's easily done without affecting Social Security, without affecting healthcare, without affecting medical care. And you know what, Aaron, here's a good question for you. Real quick, before I go to that, Queen Bee, who is a teacher, I want to mention that she says, our budgets are next to nothing because it is wasted on desk jobs for people who don't actually teach. That is so wrong.
Yep,
And Horoboy
it
says,
is.
greetings from Australia. Sorry, greetings from Oz. Can anyone let me know why so many are surprised that the babbling camel was shot down?
Can I get this
Oh,
one?
please do, my friend.
uh, Horror Boy. The reason is because many people spend an inordinate amount of time in echo chambers. And this is actually on both sides. Both sides are guilty of this. But they're so surprised because if you go to Reddit at any given time, all the posts are going to say, Kamala is amazing. She's awesome. She's going to blow them away. There's no way she can lose. She's going to get more votes than anyone in history. She's so awesome. Wow, it's great. Trump is a loser. He's a Nazi. He's a fascist. He's Hitler. He's a racist. Like all you're going to hear and see all day long. And actually, it's not just Reddit. I mean, this is also CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC, all the mainstream media. If all you ingest is that, you're just ingesting constantly. Kamala's amazing. Trump is awful. Kamala's amazing. Trump is awful. When reality hits, it's going to it's going to be like, wait a minute, what? Matter of fact, um, there is. I want to find this here because um, there's been a lot of posts today where, even on Reddit, which is a huge left echo chamber, where they're basically saying, "I I thought we were supposed to blow them away. It wasn't supposed to be close. Why was it not close? I'm starting to think that we're in an echo chamber," which 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 they are. Let me see. I think it was the Reddit Lies account.
It was
Let me
absolutely
see
Reddit,
here.
and people were sitting there in the biggest echo chamber in the world, Reddit, and pretending like it was impossible for Kamala to lose because they were not looking at any of the facts other than the things that they wanted to hear. So when people like us came along and showed them what was really happening out there, what Trump was proposing, what Kamala was proposing, both sides of the aisle, it became something that they would absolutely shut down and ban and prevent from being posted because they didn't want to hear it. So, and that's where we're at right now. Whereas people like this guy, no ban please, says, I'm starting to think Reddit might be an echo chamber that's completely disconnected from the majority of this country because it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. people in blue states, people on Reddit that don't take the time to do anything but watch CNN or MSDNC, the Cult News Network, or ABC or CBS, don't really know the facts about what's happening with Donald Trump and his proposals, or with Kamala and her proposals. The only side of the story they see is what the deep state, the George Soros and the Rothschild funded media wants them to see. Period.
Yep. Well, and that's it. It is. I'm going to use a phrase. It's going to sound mean, but it's true. It's low information voters. These are people who just believe the lies. They don't bother to research. They don't bother to look anything up. They just go to their echo chamber and they sit there. And here's a in the Mark My Words subreddit. Um, the word Trump. Here's mark my words. Republicans will lose the upcoming U.S. election soundly. 6,900 upvotes on it. 3,800 comments. Mark my words, Trump will bankrupt and destroy the Republican Party after the election. Mark my words, Trump will lose by 20 million plus votes, and the race will be called for Biden on election night. Okay, obviously this was before Kamala came in. So if you're just sitting there absorbing this horse shit constantly, eventually it kind of gets burned into your subconscious like, yes, Trump's going to lose by 20 million. He sucks so bad. Oh my God. Um, it's all they have is it's lies. It's all lies. Like literally the whole platform for the left, almost the whole platform is based on lies. And it's about, if you say a lie often enough and it comes from enough different places, there's a psychological effect that happens. It's called the illusion of choice. And what that basically means is, okay, if CNN says a lie and says Trump stabbed a hooker on 4th Street last night, and CNN says that, and they have no proof, they have no video, they have no police report, they have no nothing. They just say it, right? They just say Trump stabbed a hooker on 4th Street last night. And then NBC, what they do is they say, well, it was reported earlier on CNN that Trump stabbed a hooker on 4th Street last night. And then ABC will say, well, CBS was just reporting that Trump stabbed a hooker on 4th Street last night. And then Reddit will say, well, it was on CBS, ABC, and CNN. All three of them said Trump stabbed a hooker on 4th Street last night. So this is how it happens. They have, and sometimes they even have some weird fucking, like the Atlantic or some other crazy fucking bullshit fucking rag that says, oh, Trump peed on a girl in Russia. That was one of them, by the way. The whole pee tapes thing, which nobody ever, the tapes never surfaced. Fucking
Yeah,
weird,
so real.
right?
Yeah, so real. Mm-hmm.
But one media outlet says it, and then all the other media outlets parrot it and use that first one as the source, even though the first one had no source to fucking begin with. They just made it up. And then that starts spreading on these Reddit. Now, the thing with Reddit is what happens is if you don't join the narrative. So, for example, let me bring this one up here. Here's a Reddit post. Ugh, so bad. For whatever reasons, 15 million Democrats sat this election out compared with 2020. Okay, that's what happened. Sure.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet the vast majority of them aren't active political Redditors. And then the reply, wow, I think it's because America doesn't trust a woman. I'm just going to say right now, it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. And it has everything to do with the fact that she's a babbling fucking idiot. And she's fucking dumb as shit. So bad. And literally, before the switch was made, She was the lowest approval rating of any vice president there has ever been. She was like 17% approval rating. And that includes her own party. And literally at the flip of a switch, she's the best thing that's ever hopped into the fucking presidential race ever. And she sucks. She's awful. I would not be opposed to a woman president at all. Give me somebody qualified.
Yeah,
I
somebody
would
who's good.
consider a Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh,
Like Tulsi
absolutely.
Gabbard, she's smart. She's very, very smart, level-headed, thinks correctly. You know what I mean? She's not fucking batshit crazy. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
it's
get it.
not that she's a woman. And that see, but that's the thing that they do. And now see, if you went into Reddit in here and said, well, maybe 15 million, really didn't vote or whatever, or you said anything contrary to what this post said, the moderators of that subreddit would just ban you. You're gone. That's it. You they just ban you. And a matter of fact, they have bots in there that if you even place a comment or a like in the conservative subreddit, you will automatically be banned in a whole bunch of other subreddits. You can't even participate. Um, it's and that's how you create it. That's how you create an echo chamber. People say X is an echo chamber. It's not. There's people on both sides in X. Um, and the likely scenario, the reason why people say it's an echo chamber is because you're going to surround yourself with people who are like-minded. You're not going to follow, for the most part. I mean, now see, this is where I'm a little different than most people. See, I follow the other side so I can see what the fuck they're doing, and I follow my side. But a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this guy is saying something I like, so I'm going to follow that person. And this person thinks like me. I'm going to follow that person. But they don't like, oh, this guy's an asshole. I'm going to follow him. Like they don't, that most people don't think that way. Me, I'm a fucking weirdo. So I'm like, this guy's an asshole and he's a piece of shit from the other side. So I definitely want to keep an eye on what this fucker's saying. Like that's my mentality. Call me weird, whatever. Um, but this is what echo chambers are. This is where that firmly held belief, getting back to Horrorboy's question, is that's why they're so surprised, because to them there is no other reality. There's no reality that people could actually like Trump or like his policies or any of that. And the funniest part about it is it's not like Trump is an unknown and unknown. He literally ruled over our country. He was the president of our country for 4 years. So you have a track record with him. That's why all these people are fucking. They've gone nuts. I've got plenty of examples we're going to look at later too. But they've gone. The salt mines are overtime right now. People are fucking losing their shit, and I have to leave the country because I'm gonna get put in an internment camp because I'm a tranny. Get the fuck out of here. When okay, when the hell
People
did
actually feel that
anyone
way though, which is
ever say
wild.
that? It is, they really like legitimately feel like Trump is gonna throw them into internment camps.
The problem is
Um
because that's what again, the deep state owned media has been claiming that Donald Trump is going to do, even though he has never once backed and publicly disclosed that he had nothing to do with Project 2025. That the Heritage Foundation actually literally backed Kamala Harris for president this election because they had nothing to do with it. It was all a fake talking point. And people believe it because that's all that they hear over and over again on NPR and Cult News Network and MSDNC as if it's going out of style. That I can't even believe it but people really do think that that's what's going to happen, and it's just mind blowing to me. They just
I,
believe it because that's what
I
the DNC is telling them is going to happen.
well
They're believing everything
It's
they hear.
programming. It's programming. It's literal programming. Like it just like the whole, they keep calling Trump Hitler, and they keep calling us Nazis and blah blah blah. We're not fucking Nazis, and Trump is not Hitler. Like get over it. But the reason they keep saying it is because that is programming. It programs people to believe it. Because when people hear something enough times, they start to believe it. Well, sheeple start to believe it. People who have their own fucking brain in between their ears and take time to actually look into shit don't buy into that. It's the definition of a psyop. It's literally a psyop. But here's some trans individuals. Mouse Princess. That's awesome. I'm not joking. What country am I supposed to move to? I can't watch all my friends die. Okay. Even with Project 2025, is there any part in Project 2025? I don't know. I've never even looked at the fucking thing.
I don't know
Is there
either,
any part of it?
because we don't go believing everything the Democratic Party has to say about it, because they've publicly denounced it, as the Trump has publicly denounced and says we have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's why they backed Kamala for president.
I'm pretty sure that there's nothing even in that fucking horseshit that says, well, once we get the presidency, we're gonna go around and kill all the trainees. That's not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. Nobody said that ever. And okay, so here's the other part of it. Well, he did it before. No, he didn't. When he was president for 4 years. Did he ever round up all the transvestites and say, you know what, you're all dead? That's it. I'm gonna bust them all out. Did he ever deport all the trainees out of the country? No, he didn't. He didn't give a fuck. He really didn't. He didn't care. Just hey, stay out of the women's locker rooms. Leave women's sports to women's sports. But beyond that, nobody cares. Nobody, literally, nobody cares about what you do with your private life. So the conversation continues. Jaina, defender of the people, DM for safe house details in New Mexico. We will survive. We will fight. We will make it to tomorrow. And then Lunar Bunny, who is trans and a furry, so it's both a trend furry. A New Mexico safe house. I might be interested. I'm already fairly close in Texas, so why the fuck do you need a safe house for? See, this is how mental these people are. Okay, look, they can have their fucking sexual fetish. I could care less what they do, but I'm just saying this is how mental these people are. He just got elected. He's not in power yet. He can't do anything anyways. Why are you thinking about a safe house today? He's not even going to be president until fucking January 20th. What do you do? Where does that mentality come from? It's crazy. And people are broken. Here's a message that was sent out to a college, msu.edu, whichever one, that Missouri State maybe. No class today. Dear students, I am canceling class today to grieve the presidential election results. As a queer, immigrant woman of color, she got all of them. She checked all the boxes.
She had to check every DEI
She checks
box.
every box. A queer, immigrant woman of color. That's the DEI home run right there. Come up to the plate. Tap to. Here comes the pitch. Queer, immigrant, woman of color over the left field wall. I cannot in good conscience go on about my day like everything is all right. This is a major historical event that we are witnessing. I hope you take this time to take care of yourself. I will post about the next steps regarding P3 soon, and I will see you in person on Monday, 11/11.
She took the whole fucking
Having
week
said
off.
that, Having said that,
That's pathetic.
please know that no matter your political beliefs, you are welcome in my class and won't be discriminated against in any way. Please reach out to me if you want to talk. Professor Bora. Uh, why are you that broken? Like, literally. It. Again, I'm going to put it out there. If Kamala had won, would I have told? Like, I own a call center. I have almost 30 reps that work for me, plus management and QA and whatever. Like, I, I if Kamala had won, I wouldn't have been like, hey guys, I'm gonna be gone the rest of the week. I'm gonna be laying on a cot on the floor in the living room because I can't. I feel like I'm so dirty now that I can't even lay on the couch. I deserve to just lay on the floor and just eat ice cream and cry for the rest of the week because I can't. I can't do it. I just can't do it, guys. Bullshit. I've been like, this fucking sucks. I hate it, but I'm still gonna work and we're still gonna get shit done. Like, this is the major difference. Like, these people they're so broken.
Whoa.
Like this guy. All right, you ready for this?
Oh, don't
I'm
even
gonna
play
try to
that.
not.
Don't even play that audio. Don't play that audio. I don't want to hear this guy. I can hear it. I can hear it just from looking at it. That's how
What?
crazy
Why?
some of these people are. They did
This
not
is
understand.
mental illness.
And this is the minority, by the way. The majority of America voted for Donald Trump. Remember that. This is no longer the majority because the people have had enough of all of that nonsense.
So, are you ready for some serious logic here?
Sure.
The
Let's
logic
hear it.
circuits will be firing overtime on this one.
This is all prank, right? Like we're just gonna wake up tomorrow morning and everything's gonna go back to the way it'll be a psych. It'll be like a really bad dream, and none of this will have ever happened, right? Like it'll be like the first time, and then we're all gonna pull through fine in 4 years. Correct? Please, someone tell me. I can tell you one thing right now: marriage is the farthest thing from on the table currently. So they screwed
What?
the pooch on that one if they thought that any of this was going to actually help with the whole family and kids department and lowering birth rates, because that, no, not even any semblance of thoughts I had or hope for that is completely going to be a no thanks for me, love. You think I would ever even dare bring a child into this country now? It was rough before. Now, no, that's cute. And the men, don't even get me started about dating. To think I was still entertaining a few moderates here and there sometimes.
The fuck out.
No,
You weren't
honey,
entertaining
no.
moderates.
Not even close. That's never. Goodbye.
Sorry excuse for a woman
Okay.
should never have kids ever in her life. So I'm glad
Yes.
that she feels that way.
Thank you, guys everywheres, all over the entire world. The odds of you hooking up or marrying a crazy person just went down. She's off the market. You're welcome. Congratulations, fellas. Shit just got the gene pool just increased. Speaking of gene pool,
Oh, Jesus.
okay, guess who this is? Do you know who this is?
Yeah,
Without
I
reading.
read it. I read it. I can't help it.
Oh, you read it.
Yeah.
Cheater. Yeah, Christina Applegate. Looking good. She's looking good.
But I don't even really
I'm gonna-
want to read what she's got to say because it's so pathetic. It's such nonsense. Let's talk, Aaron, about tariffs.
Tariffs.
People are wondering what now, right? So I went ahead and I pulled some information from ChatGPT. How are tariffs good? How are tariffs bad? How can they negatively affect us? How can they hurt us? And it comes out to say that there's potential downsides and controversies. That tariffs can have downsides, such as higher costs for imports that can lead to higher prices for consumers as companies pass the increased cost to buyers. And some industries relying on imported materials, like the automotive sector, may face higher production costs potentially leading to job losses in those areas. And that trading partners often retaliate with tariffs of their own. And that even though they can offer significant benefits for certain U.S. industries, promote job growth, and protect national interests, they're a double-edged sword. The thing that matters here in this regard, from the information that I pulled off of ChatGPT, is the fact that if these companies want to reach their largest customer base and still compete with American companies, they'll be forced to import the production of the creation of those parts to the United States. That will drive down costs. And if Toyota and Lexus and Mercedes and BMW cannot keep up with the cost of vehicles that are manufactured here in the United States, then they will no longer cease to exist in this country, or people can pay a massive premium for them if they want. But of course, companies are all about the bottom line, cash money, and they want to continue to keep the cash flowing because they have an obligation to their shareholders, to their stockholders. In order to meet that obligation, they will import the production and the manufacture of those goods into the United States. A couple of things that they said: that it could boost domestic industries and jobs, protection from foreign competition. Tariffs can protect domestic companies by making foreign goods more expensive and make U.S.-made goods more attractive, increasing sales for American manufacturers. Aaron, what does that do for the GDP of America?
Well, I believe that improves it.
Absolutely does.
I think it puts us in a much better position in a bunch of different ways, because then we start exporting things rather than importing things. Then things that get made here start getting sold all over the world. And instead of having a trade deficit, we'll have a trade surplus.
Exactly.
Which just means that much more money in our country.
And with
that
greater demand for these goods, the companies will expand production here in the States. That will lead to job creation. That means you and your kids and your families and friends will have jobs. So tariffs that are placed on imported steel, that are bringing in cheap garbage steel from China, will instead be manufactured here in the United States for cheaper, increasing output, boosting employment within the industry. Same goes for automotive. Tariffs will encourage companies that had previously outsourced jobs to other countries like China to bring those jobs back to the United States. Reshoring can create manufacturing jobs, reduce the reliance on imported goods, and boosting local economies. And then we can actually run without a trade deficit with countries like China, meaning that it importing more than exporting. And by imposing tariffs, imports may decrease, helping to reduce the deficit and strengthen the U.S. trade position. It'll increase government revenue. It was not the primary goal, but this revenue can be redirected towards government projects, infrastructure, and social programs, indirectly benefiting the economy and creating jobs. That will
ultimately
go ahead.
Yeah, ultimately though, in regards to products, because that's one of the biggest things. They say, well, a tariff, if I'm buying a Yamaha stereo and it's coming in and gets a tariff on it, it means that Americans are going to be paying more for things. Well, no, that's not true. What it ultimately means is you're going to pay less for things, because then all of a sudden there's a Yamaha plant in Alabama and they're making the Yamahas there. And then you're buying it from the United States and it's actually cheaper than it is now. And it's made here in the United States. That's what we want. We want things made here in the United States. It's going to make everything cheaper for everybody too, on top of the trade deficit being turned into a trade surplus. There's so many benefits to it. It's just, it makes a lot of sense, and that's how the entire government used to be funded.
Absolutely. This is also something that could easily enhance national security, reduce our dependency on other countries, protect the strategic industries of the United States, encourage innovation domestically, and ChatGPT even says that it could create leverage in trade agreements. It could be used as a negotiating tool. Imposing tariffs, we can gain leverage to push for more favorable trade terms with other countries. Addressing unfair practices like intellectual property theft, or forced technology transfers, like happens all the time right now in China. Addresses currency manipulation and levels the playing field where other countries subsidize their industries or engage in unfair labor practices to keep export costs low. Why do we need to send things overseas to get created by 6, 7, and 8-year-olds just to save a few bucks when we can give it to Americans here that need jobs, that need the money, increase the GDP of our country, get more people employed, increase our own power here, and actually help other Americans to be gainfully employed instead of having a massive homeless problem all around the country. Meanwhile, illegal immigrants are receiving free housing and health care, food, and everything else you can imagine. We need to bring these industries back to the United States. So even though they can offer some downsides and controversies, they can offer a plethora more in actual significant benefits for a variety of U.S. industries that promote job growth and protect the national interests. Period.
Amen. I'm ready.
And now
Let's
you
do
got
it.
health
Can we
on
do
the
it now?
docket with RFK Jr., brother. Who would you choose, my
Make
guy?
America healthy again.
Who would you choose, my guy, right here between these two people to be the head of the Department of Health?
Now, you do know the one on the left, Rachel Levine.
Yeah, that guy on the left with the wig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Levine, didn't he make him like some kind of fake colonel or something like that, or admiral?
I don't know.
Admiral, like the health
Oh, that's
admiral or
right. Yeah, they
something?
did give him a fake military title, just like Tim Waltz.
Hold on. Rachel Levine, admiral. Let me see. Oh, yeah, here it is. This is not... it's so sad. This is not satire. That's the fucked up part. That they decided, in order to legitimize this individual,
That
being the
guy's
head
ugly as hell.
of health, that they had to make into an admiral. They had to make it an admiral. And then, as if that wasn't if that wasn't clown world enough for you, let's ramp it up a notch. Let's bring out the little car with 47,000 clowns piling out of it going. Here's Rachel Levine saying climate change is having a disproportionate effect on Black communities. That's what we have now. I'm going to repeat that again. Just really let it sink in. Just let it permeate your consciousness through osmosis. Climate change is having a disproportionate effect on Black communities because the sun discriminates against Black people and shines much harder on them. Like it makes it much hotter for them. Uh, it's so I can't even look anymore. Anyways, that's what we have now, which is it's crazy. And then you got RFK, who is in massively good shape, and the guy wants to just make America healthy. Like he wants to remove the bullshit from our foods. He wants to like completely gut the FDA because the FDA, as we all know, is just another bureaucratic machine where a lot of money is wasted. Do when you looked up those budgets, did you happen to see what the FDA's budget was?
Oh, I'll have that pulled up here in just a moment. That's coming up here right now. They have a substantial budget that allows it to carry out a broad range of public health responsibilities. For this year, their budget is $7.2 billion.
Waste. It's just a waste because all it is a middleman for big pharma.
Donald Trump 2024.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. Uh, but see, this is they're cute and all, but that's why you fight, brother. That's why we want a better country is for our kids. You know, my kids are grown up now, but I still want a better country for them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know me, I'm tough enough. I can deal with fucking whatever. I don't, throw whatever you got at me. I don't care. I'm a tough son of a bitch. I can take it. I really can. I don't want to. If I could help it, I'd much rather things go a little easier. But if shit gets tough, I don't run away. I don't get scared. I don't cry. I don't post a video of myself on the internet going, "Oh my god, it was so bad this week." I mean, the mailman came and he left the door open on the mailbox, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And my letter got wet. And there was a letter from the bank, and it was my monthly statement, and I couldn't read what the third check was because the ink got wet, and I was, oh my god, like it's not gonna happen. I'm just not gonna do. I mean, I kind of just did that though, so I guess it is gonna happen, but it won't be real. Like I'll fake it. Which maybe these other people are. I believe they're really fucked up. I don't believe it's fake. I believe they really feel that way.
But like you were saying, Aaron,
But
RFK has already come out and said that we need to remove
yeah.
seed oils from our diets,
Mm-hmm.
that McDonald's needs to start using beef tallow instead of seed oils
Yeah.
because seed oils are, of course, absolutely terrible for people. They cause blood clots and a plethora of other issues. Whereas things like olive oil and beef tallow are phenomenal in comparison for the heart. And at the same time, they've also come out and said that on day one, he would propose to Donald Trump to remove fluoride from drinking water. And as we all know, fluoride is the absolute worst, one of the worst things. It's literally poison that is being put into our drinking water. And Donald Trump has already said that he's on board with removing fluoride from the drinking water for the populace on the first day of his presidency, which I think would be absolutely phenomenal. And so that's exactly the kind of thinking that we need, is it not? Or do we need more of this, black people are being disproportionately harmed by climate change bullshit in the Department of Health?
We don't need that. We did get the bad shit out of our fucking food supply.
Right,
Look,
enough with the
what's
food
weird about
dyes.
fluoride?
Why do we have red 40 in all of
Fluoride.
our fucking food? It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Why do we have high fructose corn syrup instead of cane sugar or sugar? Like, come on. It's really simple.
Have you ever had one of the Mexican Cokes?
Of course, everyone's had. I mean, I am Mexican, so yeah, I've had Mexican Cokes. They're delicious.
Not everybody has.
And
but I know
the no corn syrup is the difference.
It's so much better. It tastes amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually comes in the glass bottles. Hecho in Mexico. But it's delicious. It's so good, and it's because it's real. Like if you look at the ingredients list, it's like real. It's like real, like how it should be, like real sugar, real cane sugar. You know what's interesting about fluoride is I've known for a long time that fluoride is not good for you, and after doing a lot of research on it, and if you don't know about fluoride is it's really really bad for you. It can affect your pineal gland, which is they believe the pineal gland, pineal. Anyways, there's a little tiny
Perennial?
gland in your brain. I think it's pineal, pineal.
Oh,
Pineal
yeah, it
gland.
is. That's right. Pineal.
It's this little tiny gland, and fluoride actually like calcifies that gland. And apparently, this gland is part of what actually helps you to have faith, like believing in God and feeling spiritual and things like that. Like this gland is part of that process. And it really makes you wonder why fluoride was fucking added to everything. And we were told the lie that it was for our teeth. Fluoride for your teeth. It helps your teeth. there's never really been any actual study that it actually does anything for your teeth. You know what? I remember from when I was a kid in grammar school. I don't know if you experienced this either, but I remember one day, and this only happened one time. We were like in third grade, I think, and we the teacher literally was teaching us like about fluoride that day, and we all got these little packets of liquid. They were like a little paper, like a packet, like almost like a little Capri Sun kind of thing, but real thin. And we all went to the bathroom, took these packets, ripped them open, and like put them in, swished them, and then spit them out. And it was a fluoride packet. Why?
That's crazy.
Like,
That's
why do we
crazy,
do
yeah.
that? Like, that really happened. I remember that happening. For some reason, that's one of the memories that really stuck because I thought it was weird. Because we had never done it before, and we never did it again afterwards. It was just that one time. I don't know, maybe somebody in the chat, maybe one of you guys in the chat, like either the Rumble or the YouTube, if any of you guys had a similar experience in grammar school, please let us know. I'd like to not be the only one.
I
Like,
never did
I
that.
can't
That sounds
imagine I
crazy.
wasn't.
No, man.
I can't imagine. Well, I am a fucking weirdo, so I guess that,
It wasn't your
you know
choice,
what.
though. That's some crazy shit they made kids do. No,
But it's very weird for sure.
I've got to wrap it up here. But if you don't mind, I want to just mention a couple things as quickly as I can into what we can expect. So, Trump is going to reinstate tariffs on foreign goods, a broad 10 to 20% tariff on all imports, up to 60% on goods from China. He proposed massive tax cuts for everybody, the middle class, the upper class, the lower class, business class, a huge tax cut with a lot of specifics yet to be detailed. He's also talking about phasing out Chinese imports over the next 4 years and then coupling restrictions on U.S.-China investments. Trump plans to emphasize stricter immigration enforcement, closing the border, proposing to limit immigration channels like student visas from enemy nations, and reduce the number of guest worker visas, as well as reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy and enhance border security, along with exploring merit-based immigration. Meaning, if you're a contributing citizen, if you're a contributing person, then you're welcome in this country. Trump has indicated interest in designating Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations and banning investment between the U.S. and Chinese companies, which is exactly what we need to do. We need to get fentanyl off the streets. We need to get illegal murderers off the streets that don't belong here in the first place. He intends to use seized cartel assets to create a compensation fund for victims of crimes committed by undocumented immigrants, focusing on helping women and children. Trump has signaled a massive rollback on gender-related DEI bullshit policies, including limiting federal recognition of gender to two sexes assigned at birth, because there are only two sexes, male and female, of course, right? Other proposed changes include banning gender-reaffirming surgeries for minors, not for adults, but for minors, and reinstating the ban on transgender individuals serving in the military. He has outlined a push against electric vehicle mandates, revoking offshore wind projects. By the way, we can't handle electric vehicle mandates. This country can't handle it whatsoever. We don't have the infrastructure for it. Offshore wind projects have shown to literally kill thousands and thousands of whales every single year. They are absolutely terrible for our entire world and not just humans, but other animals out there. And withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement. Oh, well, look at that. Where'd that go? Trump's energy policies focuses on promoting traditional energy sources, including liquefied natural gas terminals. Trump wants to increase education initiatives that include expanding school choice and homeschooling options, while discouraging vaccine mandates and advocating for school prayer. Remember, Trump gave people the option to get the COVID vaccine, but only Biden and Harris forced you to get the COVID vaccine in order to keep your job or to go to the fucking grocery store. Additionally, Donald Trump proposes creating tent cities for the homeless and prohibiting urban camping in public spaces. So obviously these will require congressional support for implementation. Thankfully, it appears as if the Republican Party is definitely going to be in control of the House and the Senate, and particularly involving those tax changes and federal budget adjustments. So keep in mind, this is not Project 2025 because Donald Trump has never, ever endorsed or backed Project 2025 in any way. Donald Trump will implement a no tax on overtime pay policy, which is intended to incentivize more work hours from people who work overtime. This will be particularly beneficial for hourly workers in industries like manufacturing, where overtime is common. And the goal is to increase take-home pay for hardworking Americans, making extra hours more financially rewarding. Keep in mind, and don't forget, that if you have to pay less taxes on your overtime, so does your employer. So your employer then has more incentive to give you overtime because employers pay 50% of all of your taxes. That's everything from Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, unemployment, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever you pay, your employer matches. And the same goes for overtime. So when you make more money by not having to pay taxes on overtime pay, your employer gets to save money, thus incentivizing them to actually give you that OT. Right, Aaron?
And yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits to that. Before we wrap it up, I think just a quick notes here too. This guy here on X is awesome. So if you don't follow him, Butcher Wall Street, Marcel Kolonovic, it's at Boss Blunts 1. Not this guy on the right, who is at Boss Blunt. Not this guy. This is not the same guy. Don't follow that guy. Follow just the Boss Blunts 1. But talking about Patrick Byrne, speaking with Donald Trump's team to end financial market manipulation. And if there's a guy who knows about naked shorting, it's fucking Patrick Byrne. I mean, think
That's
what you
right.
want about the guy. He's fucking way out there sometimes. But you know what? The guy knows about naked shorting. And I'll tell you what, if there's anybody that could say, hey, here's what's going on with it, we need to fix this, it's probably him. There's that. And then this is just kind of a final note for anybody who's wondering. The Biden DOJ will drop its cases against Donald Trump in D.C. and Florida before the January inauguration.
We have some news about special counsel Jack Smith, this man right here. Donald Trump said recently that he would fire Jack Smith, quote, within 2 seconds of taking office. Well, we found out that he may not have that opportunity. The reason is that the Department of Justice, where Jack Smith works, cannot prosecute a sitting president. Fox News is told that Jack Smith will be gone from his post as special counsel, meaning the cases will be gone before Trump takes the oath of office at noon on January 20th. This is the documents case, though that was dropped already by Judge Eileen Cannon back over the summer, and it's on appeal, but also this case for Trump's alleged efforts to try to overturn the 2020 election. So given the fact DOJ policy says you cannot prosecute a sitting president, expect Jack Smith's cases to be done. The last case, and I'll end on this, is that Atlanta case that deals with the 2020 elections. That's a local Georgia case. We've seen over the last year how that has played out with Fonnie Willis, Nathan Wade. That has many problems, many different delays. So the bottom line for my story to all of you right now, Donald Trump's legal problems have essentially all gone away since he won last night.
Boom. And then this guy. We need to put this guy in charge of ICE.
I love this guy.
This guy's awesome.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
I fucking love that guy.
And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. They
He's
came here
right.
together. They can be deported together. It's a shame that we have to say that, but that's the reality. If we can't keep our veterans and homeless people off the streets, we have no business trying to take in people from other countries. No business.
No.
Now, keep in mind, on top of no tax
if we
on
were in a
overtime.
position, yeah, if we were in a position where we had no homeless, all our veterans were taken care of, I would say, okay, we could probably take on some
Yeah,
people
bring
who
them
need
on.
help.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we're not in that spot,
No.
and it's just not right. And just on a lighter note, we're gonna end this with this guy right here. The quote is, "I don't think you assholes realize what you fucking did electing Donald Trump." And it's a little 22 seconds. And I think this really sums everything up nicely.
I don't even think you fucking assholes realize what you did. Now because you elected Trump in office, I gotta go and spend fucking less for gas, less at groceries, have a savings account that my kids can actually be proud of. We could actually do something with it. I don't know, maybe like a vacation to Florida or something. Who knows? Now I gotta get used to a strong economy, secure borders, no new wars. What kind of shit is that? Make America great again.
Now, keep in mind, this guy makes some great points. But aside from that, no tax on overtime pay, no tax on Social Security benefits. Trump proposes to eliminate the tax, which could benefit retirees and low-income seniors, helping people retain more of their income that they already paid taxes on. No taxes on tips, service industry workers, Uber Eats, Uber workers, DoorDash, you name it, baristas, bartenders, busboys, a lot of them being immigrants. They will no longer have to pay tax on tips.
It's
And
great.
the best part of all is that, guess what? Donald Trump is not making abortions illegal. This is the United States of America. He's given the states the ability to choose for themselves. That's the whole point of a United States.
Wasn't even him.
And Donald Trump didn't even
wasn't
do
even
that.
him.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Right.
like, but that is where we're at. So if your state has the ability for you to get an abortion, great, you can do that. If it doesn't, well, then maybe you can go to another state that does if you really want it that bad. But that's the beauty of having the freedom to move between states and to go do what you want to do. But yeah, these proposals in general would take a significant burden off of low-income and middle-income people, off of retirees, off of the 99%. And this is definitely going to lead to a substantial revenue loss for the government, which can easily be made up for by cutting frivolous spending through the Department of Government Efficiency. Can you say Doge?
Doge.
There you go.
All right, I got one final video. This guy he's sending some goodwill. This is all about mending bridges. This guy and his neighbor's taking down some Harris Walls signs, and he's spreading some joy. So here we go.
Hope your day gets better. Positive energy. Oh. Hope your day gets better.
Oh, that's hilarious.
God.
Positive energy. Oh.
Does she sound crazy?
What did she say?
Does that lady sound crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did she
When a
say?
5-year-old tells you sound crazy, I think it's pretty obvious. All right, guys. I wish you peace and wealth. Have a great day. We will catch up with you guys next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yes. Right,
Cheers.
Daddy.
Wednesday, 8
Cheers for
p.m. See you guys then. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash it.
Smash the like button.
Thank you, baby.
There we go.
If you don't click it, then